What just came out of Chicago has every Bears fan holding their breath. The monsters of the Midway are facing a storm that's threatening to derail everything they've built this season. Injuries piling up on the defensive line, whispers of trades echoing through the league, and a fan base that's equal parts furious and fired up. You can sense the tension building, like the wind off Lake Michigan before a big game at Soldier Field. This isn't just another setback, it's a gut punch that could change the entire trajectory. If you're part of this crew, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and join the conversation. This community runs on real fans like you. Now the name that's sending shockwaves through the locker room, Dayo Odeyingbo. The edge rusher they brought in as a free agent, the guy who was supposed to anchor that front and bring the heat. He's out for the season with a torn Achilles. It's the kind of injury that hits like a thunderclap, sidelining a key starter and leaving the Bears scrambling. Odeyingbo was that stout presence against the run, the disruptor who fit perfectly into Dennis Allen's scheme. Just like that, he's looking at a grueling rehab that could stretch a full year, testing his resolve and the team's depth. But it doesn't stop there. The Bears are bleeding talent on the edge. Shemar Turner, gone for the year too. Dominique Robinson nursing a high ankle sprain that's got him on the sideline. Suddenly that defensive line that was supposed to terrorize quarterbacks feels thin, exposed. Austin Booker steps up, the young gun who just got back from his own IR stint after a preseason knee issue. He flashed in his first game back Sunday, a strip sack on Joe Flacco that had Pro Football Focus lighting him up with an 85.8 pass rush grade. Gervon Dexter scooped the fumble, turned it into points. Booker's got that fire only in his second year with 2.5 career sacks and 7 pressures. Coach Ben Johnson saw it, praised the kid post-game. "I thought Book played a nice game yesterday. I was very pleased to see that for his first game back, so no, not worried, I do have a lot of confidence there." Johnson's trying to keep the vibe steady, talking up the depth. Hopefully we'll get Dom Robinson back too. He was doing some nice things there early in the season as well. We've got some depth. You can never have too many pass rushers. He's right about the philosophy. Edges are gold in this league, always in demand. But depth, right now it's more hope than reality. Proven guys are scarce, and with 2 edges out long-term, the pressure's mounting. The monsters of the Midway can't afford to limp into the trade deadline feeling vulnerable. Ryan Poles, the GM who's been wheeling and dealing since day one, knows the clock's ticking. The deadline's Tuesday at 3 p.m. and he's been burning the midnight oil. Johnson backed him up. "I know Ryan and his crew have been doing their due diligence all throughout the fall, all the way up until tomorrow to make sure we're turning over every stone to make sure if there's a way that we can improve this roster, we'll do that." Poles has always been picky with his draft capital, hoarding picks like a bear guarding its den. But he dipped into the future 4th for Booker, so maybe a 2nd or 3rd rounder isn't off the table now. It's biting the bullet time, preserve the future or win now. The dialogue between Johnson and Poles is constant, a balancing act of short-term boosts and long-term vision. We talk nonstop about this and we've been doing it for a while now. He's doing his due diligence to making sure that we look at everyone that could be available and that could help this football team in the here and the now, and also have in the back of our head what the ramifications of that also are, the consequences when you give up capital. Smart football, but with the Bears sitting at $7.88 million in cap space, any big move might mean restructures or tough cuts. They already missed out on Yalen Phillips, the Miami edge who got shipped to Philly for a 3rd rounder. Reports said the Bears were sniffing around, but the Eagles pounced. Phillips would have been a fit, but now the market's heating up. Names floating: Cincinnati's Trey Hendrickson, Miami's Bradley Chubb, New Orleans' Carl Granderson, and even Cam Jordan. Granderson and Jordan, they know Allen's system inside out, having logged years under him. Imagine bringing those vets back into the fold, familiarity breeding that instant chemistry. Speculation on Kayvon Thibodeaux from the Giants, probably smoke. They're asking for a 1st, and with the Bears facing New York this week, that'd be a wild twist. Myles Garrett's trade demands are loud, but Cleveland's digging in and his cap hit would capsize the Bears' books. Max Crosby. Raiders swearing him off, but their slide might open ears. The competition's fierce though. Lions 49ers, Cowboys all hunting edges too. Desperation could drive up prices, but Poles can't flinch. Odeyingbo's loss stings because he was that 260-plus pound anchor, stout against the run while pressuring the pocket. Booker's speedy, twitchy, but not the same profile. With the season hanging in the balance, every snap matters. The Bears faithful are roaring for action, demanding the front office deliver. This isn't just about replacing a player, it's about reigniting the fire that makes Chicago bleed orange and blue. The monsters of the Midway don't go down easy, they adapt, they hunt, they conquer. As the dust settles from this injury nightmare, you can't help but feel the weight on the shoulders of everyone in Bears Nation. Soldier Field's going to echo with that familiar growl, but will it be enough to push through? The trade market's a jungle right now, full of predators eyeing the same prey. Poles has to navigate it carefully, knowing one wrong move could haunt the roster for years. But sitting still, that's not the Chicago way. The monsters of the Midway charge forward no matter the odds. Let's break down the landscape. Hendrickson's a beast for the Bengals, sacks, pressures, the works, but since he's in win-now mode, prying him loose might cost a king's ransom. Chubb in Miami. Talented, but injury history's a red flag, and the Dolphins aren't sellers. Then there's the Saints duo. Granderson's got that motor, played 70% of snaps against the Bears last month, shutting down lanes like a pro. Jordan, the legend, still hunting QBs at 35. Both thrived under Allen. It'd be like reuniting an old band, injecting veteran savvy into a young unit. The Giants' Thibodeau's talk fizzled, first-round price tag steep, especially with that Thursday night clash looming. Garrett's saga in Cleveland, dramatic but impractical. His contract's a monster and the Browns aren't budging. Crosby's the dream, disruptive force, but Vegas is stubborn even as losses pile up. The Raiders' commitment to excellence might crack under pressure, but don't bet on it yet. What makes this so tense is the Bears' spot in the standings. They're scrapping for every inch, and a porous D-line could sink the ship. Booker's promise is exciting. A strip sack and limited snaps shows the tools, but he's green. Robinson's ankle, fingers crossed for a return, but high ankles linger. Turner's out, Odeyingbo's rehabbing far away. Depth's a buzzword, but it's unproven kids stepping up now. Johnson's optimism rings true. You can never have too many cover players on the back end either. That's how I have always felt since I've been in this league. But edges, that's the lifeblood of this defense. Allen's scheme thrives on versatile rushers who set the edge and collapse pockets. Without them, the secondary's exposed, the run game's feasted on. Poles' process is solid, constant talks, due diligence, but action's needed. That $7.88 million cap space buys options, maybe a restructure on Montez Sweat or whoever to make room. Fans, remember the grit that defines this city. Chicago doesn't fold, it fights. The 1985 Bears, dubbed Bears, that Super Bowl run, it was built on a ferocious front. Today's squad channels that spirit, but they need reinforcements to roar back. If Poles pulls off a coup, landing a Hendrickson or Jordan type, it could flip the script. Imagine the energy at Hollis Hall when the deal drops, pure electricity. The long-term view matters too. Poles has restocked the roster, turned over stones for gems like Booker. Giving up picks hurts, but a second or third for a rental edge, worth it if it pushes for playoffs. The balancing act Johnson described, here and now versus ramifications, it's the GM's art. He's shown willingness before, now's the test. As Tuesday approaches, eyes are glued to the wires. Will the Bears bite the bullet, swing big to shore up the line, or trust the youth, grind it out? Either way, Bears Nation stands united, voices rising from the south side to the suburbs. The monsters of the Midway are wounded but far from broken. This setback, it's fuel, fire up the coals, Chicago the hunt's on, and when that cannon fires, wait, wrong team, make it the Bear roar, it'll echo through the league. Stay locked in, because whatever happens next, it's going to be one hell of a ride. We've got the depth in our hearts, the passion that built this franchise. Let's roar through the storm together.